Hi! Can you guys see me? Guess what, everybody? I have a new computer! I hope that means no more 4 frame per second streams. We are actually going to be able to stream at a reasonable level, and it should be high quality. We shouldn't have, like, 4x3 nonsense, 480p, all that is gone. We're in high definition. We're here playing a game that is very near and dear to my heart, and I'm super excited. But before we get into any of that, before we get into any Persona talk, all that stuff, we start off every stream the same way. So if you're a first-time viewer, know that this is an every-time thing. I want to give you a Godfrey update. Not very exciting this week. Godfrey looks about the same. Still a cactus. I think he has a few more spiky things on him than he did before. But other than that, he's still the same. No more flowers on Godfrey, which is really upsetting. The flowers really added something to his allure, but, you know, we'll see. Okay, that's your Godfrey update for the week. Come tune in next week for more Godfrey action. So for those of you that are unfamiliar with Asura's Wrath, it's basically Anime the game. And what I mean by that is it's an original world with original characters, but it takes a very outlandish style. And it's done so incredibly well. There's an enthusiasm present in this game, and sort of a heart that it has that is rarely seen. It reminds me of Deadly Premonition in its own weird way. It's my favorite thing CyberConnect 2 has ever done. Despite them doing like really good work on the Naruto games and things like that, this is like, to me, their most inspired work, and I'm excited to share it with you all if you haven't seen it. It is very story heavy, but I think that's okay. I think it's okay to kind of change up the pace with these streams. Normal's fine. Yes, start the game on normal. Have any of you played this game before? I really hope so. I hope there are some Asura's Wrath fans. We need to let CyberConnect know that we want another sequel to this game. Didn't they do the cat games? That sounds correct, but I'm going to look this up. I can do that now. I can look things up. My computer is good enough that I can look things up and stream. Yeah, they did do the Doc Hat games. They also did Tail Concerto. That was their first game. And it's a wonderful little PS1 game where you are a fox in a mech and you trap other creatures in bubbles. It's really amazing. You're like a police officer. Tail Concerto. Check it out. I'm going to talk a little bit during the cutscenes just because there are so many of them. Normally I wouldn't, but I do, if you guys are unfamiliar, I definitely urge you to pay attention. I might turn subtitles on too, so it's easier for you guys to do so. But I mean, just look it. We basically have Law from Tabletop Escapades on a spaceship in space staring down at a planet. That's the kind of game this is. And just for the shit of it, there's just a title screen thrown in randomly, despite the fact that we already went through a title screen. You have Tail Concerto? That's so cool. It's a great game. I'm not a big fan of QuickTime events, but this is a game that does QuickTime events right. We got some Panzer Dragoon action here. Basically, you just hold down the lock-on button and then press it again to shoot things. Just kind of a little bit of a tutorial. But it's neat. I wish more games kind of did this opening credits thing. The first game that I remember sticking out to me that did it was Metal Gear Solid, and not a lot of games did it at the time, and it left such an impression on me. It was like, oh, this game is trying to tell a story. This is its opening, and it's letting me know that very explicitly. It's not just like, here's a video game level. There's a craft to this. Oh, I fucked up. I was like going to grab my coffee, and I fucked up the first QuickTime event. Gotta pay attention. Goma Lasher. I also like that it gives you an impurity level. I think it's at 30,000. It's a very Dragon Ball Z-esque thing. These look like the creatures from the Matrix. Or at least that's what I'm reminded of anyway. 240,000 impurity level. An auspicious start to the QT heavy stream. Yeah, I've got to be careful with my coffee sips, I think. This beginning is kind of hard to mess up, though. You can kind of just go on autopilot, and it's not a big deal. I guess let's just get started with it. Did you guys see the Persona trailer? Because holy shit. Every trailer they release for that game, it just becomes more and more convincing. It's insane. Reminds me of the end of Mass Effect 3. Okay, I'm gonna have to be really careful with chat. These QuickTime events are gonna be the end of me.
Fear not, brave warriors of Shinkoku. Our long struggle against the Goma shall come to an end tonight.
Something that I love about Japanese games that I feel like a lot of Western games aren't quite as good at doing is I feel like once in a while you get that Japanese game that seems to delight itself on just making you say, what? All the time. And I appreciate that. Sometimes I think it's cool to consume something where you're just constantly amazed and unsure of yourself and everything is weird. I think that can be a fun place to explore. And I feel like a lot of Western games go out of their way to contextualize you, and that's cool. I'm not against that, but I like both sides. Asura's Wrath is one of those weird games. But at the same time, it has a story. It follows a very specific brand of logic, you know, and it builds a world.
Let us offer Gaea the greatest blessing in the name of
I would love to do a full playthrough of this, so I don't know if you guys are going to enjoy the stream or not. I don't know if this is a good stream game. Thought I'd try it out, but we might return to Asura's Wrath at some point, if you guys dig it and want to see the story continue. Like, what is this thing? Why does this gold medal dude have a giant laser Gatling gun? What is happening? This is amazing. It's just pure spectacle. I'm just mashing Y right now.
the 8 guardian generals that command you are the veteran elite. Purify any who threaten to death.
It's funny that you can't fail these early QuickTime events, because I would have gotten a game over screen every time so far. Most people want to hear me talk about Persona 5. Yeah, I'm a little bit hesitant to, like, give my full analysis. I have a lot to say. But we are talking about it on Frame Trap tomorrow, and I don't want to be redundant on Frame Trap. I want to give you a reason to listen to that show. The new characters, that is something I will touch on, because there's something about, like, every cast of Persona is amazing, right? Like, Persona 3 is a great cast, Persona 4 is a great cast, but there's something about the cast in Persona 5 that is really interesting to me. Like, it's reminiscent of the earlier games, but it's not... It's a different vibe. There's something kind of insidious about these characters. They don't seem like they're entirely up to good. Like, they feel like they have sort of a lack of innocence. Like, the Persona 4 characters to me are super, super, super innocent. They're kind of learning about themselves and each other as they go through the story. Whereas I don't get the same vibe here. Like, that hacker girl, that redheaded girl, I think Sakura is her name. She seems very confident and flaunty, and that French lady, right? Like, and the biker lady, there's an aggressiveness to these characters that is really speaking to me in a different way, which is super cool.
With His Majesty's power, you shall be reincarnated in a golden paradise and rejoice in prosperity.
Motorcycle Girl is particularly sketch. Yeah, I agree with that. It looks like she's being possessed, right? Or she's under some sort of demonic influence. She has the yellow eyes in the trailer and all that stuff. So, did you hear the Asura's Wrath devs are making a Ghibli-style game called Project Venom? No, that sounds amazing. I can't believe I didn't know this. That's exactly the kind of game I want them to make. I will check that out. Project Venom. Don't let me forget that. What I love about Easy Allies streams, and I'm so glad that you guys, like, allow for this, is I watch a lot of Twitch. I spend more time watching Twitch than I do doing almost anything else. And so many popular streamers have like just toxic chats where they just spam nonsense over and over, and I feel like I can actually have a conversation with you guys, which is nice. I think that makes the stream more fun and engaging, at least for me. Dude, look at Asura. He solves every single problem with his fist. This is like law times 10,000. I would love for Asura to be a Street Fighter V DLC character. A lot of fans would call that blasphemous, but I think it'd be cool. I also really appreciate games that open with a bang. Lost Odyssey is another game that comes to mind where you just sort of start the game in the middle of this giant war against these giant like mechanical creatures, and you're like, whoa, what is going on? And it really draws you in. And Asura's Wrath is kind of the same thing. Like, we're in this epic fantasy sci-fi chaotic thing, and that's really cool.
There is no need for us to be on the front.
Ben, rumor has it that you spent hours getting your hair in perfect condition for the stream. No, I did comb it, but I think my hair game is weak today. I've had much stronger hair.
Commander Deus, sending reinforcements directly to the front lines.
Matters such as this
Yeah, man. So the Persona 5 music is already outstanding. Persona 4, I think, is probably my most listened to game soundtrack ever, and there's something about Persona 5 that's even better. Just this like sort of weird pop jazz funk hybrid is so cool and distinct. Like, I think people get irritated sometimes when I bag on games like Battleborn or The Division, and it's not that those games don't have merit, and it's not that those games don't have incredible people working on them. Half-star hair. Yeah, my hair is not great today. My hair has never been great, honestly. But anyway, like, not that these games don't take an incredible amount of talent and passion to create, but they just sort of feel cobbled together from other ideas, right? Whereas you look at, watch the fourth Persona 5 trailer, right? The most recent one. And you're like, I've never seen anything like this. Like, this style, this tone that it's taking, this world that it's building, like, this is creating a unique space in games. And that, to me, is just so captivating. And I don't think everything needs to be innovative or earth-shattering, right? But I think it's a lot more appealing if it is, right? If you create something that hasn't existed before, that's way more interesting than, like, MOBA number 17. For those of you that are just joining me now, I will give you another Godfrey update. Godfrey's just chilling. He's doing fine. Godfrey's in chill mode. He's contemplating Persona 5. I think the day Persona 5 comes out, he's going to blossom some flowers. I do think Ian Hink definitely has the best hair of the group. There are days I want to mimic it. Like, there are days I wish it was longer on one side so I could do like an Ian style thing. Okay, alright. Giant stone black creature came out of the earth and spit fiery projectiles. Godfrey, yeah, Godfrey is a cactus. Yes, that is what I named my cactus. I do like Bloodworth's hair, too. I could never rock long hair, but he pulls it off, and that's cool. You're welcome, Silent Planet. I had a joy writing those. I'm sorry they weren't longer, but I didn't want to make them long for the sake of it, so. Brad has also excellent hair as well. The great rivalry. These guys used to be buddies, and then they turn out as enemies. Kristen, you used that capo well. This game just I wish I could have reviewed this game for GT, because I think it would have been one of my most passionate reviews that I'd ever done. This game just like fucking takes you on a ride. It just grabs you by the balls, and it never lets go until it's done. And it's not longer than it needs to be. It's just as long as it needs to be, which I really appreciate and think is super hard to do. It does kind of remind me of Lavos from Chrono Trigger. That's a good call out. I hadn't thought of that until now. We should do a Chrono Trigger stream. That would be fun. Oh, that would just be a chill stream. Then XCOM 2 DLC is next week. Adds 3 new big bets to the game. So that's another game I've wanted to get back to covering. I actually didn't know DLC was coming, so thank you for telling me. I will definitely buy that. XCOM 2 is an amazing, amazing game. I think it's going to get kind of swallowed by the hype of other games this year, especially since it came out so early, but XCOM 2 is incredible. Chrono Trigger. Brad's only played Chrono Trigger once before? We have to, like, revoke his Weeaboo license.
Priestess.
But were you asleep during the Persona 5 stream? Yeah, so the Persona thing started at 5 a.m. and I was up until 4:30, and I was just laying on the couch and I don't remember falling asleep. I just passed out, and I woke up at like 10 a.m. and I was like, oh no, I missed it, and I immediately went and watched the trailer. So yeah, I fell asleep like a casual scum. I apologize. I'm getting too old for this shit. So I've been wanting to do Super Mario RPG for a long time. I think it's just been hard coordinating a schedule. If we get an office, and I'm not like trying to bait you guys into Dota anymore for the office, but if we get an office, it would be a lot easier to do like 3-man streams like the Super Mario RPG stream. With Brad, I think with Brad and Huber, those guys are usually down to do group streams, and it's pretty easy to coordinate them. But with other people, it's not their fault, like they're not doing anything wrong, but it is harder to get them together for a stream. This is so fucking sick, by the way. I'm just going to enjoy this moment for a second. Oh, I went right into that was bad. What I love about how this game utilizes QuickTime events is I feel like in many other games, a QuickTime event takes away an action that you would rather just do. Like when they hit somebody or when you get a headshot or something, like they weirdly make it a QuickTime event, and it would be more satisfying to do that action in the game. But when they use QuickTime events here, what you do is so ridiculous and they make you mash so hard that you actually feel like you're kind of mimicking what they're doing in a really cool way. It like gives you power instead of taking it away, which is rad. It's hard to explain, but you'll see plenty of examples of it during the stream, I'm sure. 2 hours is actually a lot in this game, so you'll kind of get to see all of its different aspects. I think its third-person action segments are the weakest and like totally not necessary. And even when it just comes across with like the giant burst on the screen, like that feels fucking rad. Ben, are you hyped for E3? I really want to see Zelda. Yeah, I want to. It's going to be playable at E3. Like, I know people are bummed about the Nintendo news, and you should be. It's infuriating. Nintendo is dumb. But the fact that Zelda is playable, that's all I'm going to care about at E3. Like, unless Persona is playable, right? Or Final Fantasy 15 is playable. Zelda is the thing to play. All of the other games are going to look like tame in comparison. I want to get Damiani there and have him like comb through every little bit of that demo. To me, that's way more exciting than anything else they could show at the show. Like, a Zelda at E3 defines that E3. I did not platinum this, I don't think. They did say look forward to E3 at the end of the Persona 5 thing, Ben. I think there's going to be an English release date for sure at E3. There's going to be a trailer during the Sony conference because Sony knows that Persona 5 is a big deal and it's exclusive to the platform. So during the Sony conference, there's going to be a Persona 5 trailer and they're going to say, hey, it's coming in October. They've been working on localization for this game during its development. And Atlus, unlike some other companies, are really good at localizing things quickly. So I don't want to get anybody's hopes up. I could just be speaking out of my ass, but I really believe the Japanese release and the English release are not going to be that far apart. I think Persona 5 English release will come out this year, North American release. I really, really, really believe it. I think if it was going to come out in 2017, they would have gotten ahead of it already. Because I think that would be interpreted as bad news. And why make you wait, right? Like, why drag you through the mud just to say it's coming out next year? Be careful on tapping the table. The mic is picking up. Thank you. I'm really bad at stuff like that. And I'm just like slamming my coffee down like an idiot. Like, Persona 5 will come out here. Yeah. Ben Moore has very poor situational awareness. B. A. That's good. B. B. Okay. Not great. We can do better. We can get A ranks. I'm also really excited. We're going to talk a lot. Oh, I don't mean to preemptively hype this up or sound like a jerk, but I think tomorrow's frame trap is going to be the best frame trap we've done so far because we just have so much to talk about, right? So we're going to talk about Persona 5. We're going to talk about Zelda and Nintendo. We're going to talk about the Neo demo. I'm going to try to fit in Hitman talk. Like, we're going to talk about so many things that we're all so passionate about. And I think it's really going to come through on camera. And it'll be an interesting... Like, tomorrow it's going to be Ian and Blood. Okay, we're skipping this. Static images with text is not going to work. I'm sorry. We don't need it.
Priestess Mithra lent her power to...
This is usually planned tomorrow, so it's Blood, Ian, and Huber, right? And so Huber is going to feed off my energy, and I'm going to feed off his. And then Blood is going to bring, like, level-headed discussion. And then I think, you know, Ian is going to present a lot of different sides that we wouldn't normally see. So it's going to be dope. And I think tomorrow could be an extra long podcast. Like, I try to keep them around 2 hours, but I don't know with as much as we have to talk about, like, I can limit it. So it's going to be sick. It might be like 3 hours. We can't make it longer than 3 hours. It already takes too long to export. So we can't make it longer than 3 hours. But it might be around that time. If it's 2 hours, please don't be disappointed. We're doing what we can. This game also just looks gorgeous, by the way. Just going back to Asura's Wrath. Like, it has such a distinct style. Like, the Buddhist influence is so prevalent, but they warp it and make it this, like, crazy, weird, fun sci-fi thing that I think is so cool.
Asura!
Make it 5 hours to split into two. I really hate splitting anything up into two. Even if it's like the smart, reasonable thing to do.
You're safe.
I am.
Welcome home, Father.
She loves him so much.
Thanks.
And he loves her so much. That's so beautiful.
General Asura, the Emperor summons you.
More Hindu influence than Buddhist, I think. That's true, yes. Yes, you're right. Hinduism is a very, 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 very huge influence in this game.
She's right.
That is a good correction.
All right.
It's more Hindu. Buddhists don't believe in deities. Yeah, I think that was just me being dumb. And it's funny because I studied Buddhism a lot in college. So I shouldn't have made that mistake. It's funny to me how some games pick up and some games don't, right? Like, I remember when Asura's Wrath came out, I feel like people criticized it for all the wrong reasons, and I think Huber understands this very well also, based on my conversations with him. Like, people will be like, oh, it's only 6 hours long, or oh, it's mostly cutscenes. Like, there seems to be this lack of understanding that games don't have to be one thing, right? Like, I'm super happy that David Cage games exist. I don't think they're very good, but I don't think that style of game is any lesser because it chooses to operate in a different way. I think that's so silly. Shave your head, Ben? No, you don't want to see that. You don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. This game is sure taking a while to get going. Yeah, it's probably because I've been talking. Like, it's hard to get into these games if it's not just one-on-one. And that's why I was worried it wouldn't make for a very good stream game. It's just something we're trying out, honestly. But if you guys think it's boring, I have nothing against that. We will shy away from this sort of thing in the future.
Asura! You traitorous filth! No. It wasn't me. Silence! Enough of your lies! I shall purify the likes of you.
A 6-hour game for $60 is a valid complaint. Absolutely it is. Absolutely it is. And, like, there's nothing wrong with saying this isn't, like, this doesn't offer enough for my money. But I think that's, like, purely a... That's what's so hard about being a game reviewer, right? Is there are different ways you can look at things, right? Looking at something from a purely consumer perspective is one way to look at things, but I don't think it's the only way... Oh, that was so sick. You should look at a game. When it comes down to it, it's your money and you do what you want. But if somebody doesn't factor in length in how they approach a game, I don't think that's invalid. I think you can look at something as just sort of an artistic work and not factor in cost and not factor in any of that stuff. I think that's also a valid way to look at something. How do these guys expect to win after you beat Lavos? Yeah. Oh, I'm really excited for you guys to see the first boss fight. I think that's where the game really sells itself. Like, for me, for example, I enjoy movies, but I rarely buy movies. I just don't think they're usually worth the $20 or $30 that it takes to, like, get them on Blu-ray when they come out. It's just not worth it to me because I usually watch a movie once and then put it back on the shelf. But that's just me. There are many people that, like, that's no big deal for them. They live for movies. They're going to watch them over and over and over again. That's kind of how I'm with games. If you give me an incredible 6-hour experience with a game, I'll happily spend $60 because this is my number one passion. Like, this is the thing I do the most. It's not just a hobby, right? So the way I feel about it and the way I think about it is probably different than the average person, and that's okay. Every hit is huge, right? Like, you don't just punch a guy. You punch him and then, like, he flies up in the air and flames come out of your body. This game is pure hyperbole, and oh, that was bad.
Mithra, Durga, be safe.
I played Resident Evil 6 recently, and Resident Evil 6 is a bad game, but it's a really fascinating game. Like, it's a game, if I had an infinite amount of time, it's a game that I would love to write, like, an analysis on and kind of go over all of its individual parts. Because it's, like, it's bad, but it's ambitious. But it's ambitious in, like, a really sad way. It is trying to be something other than Resident Evil, right? And I think that's the wrong direction.
Save your strength.
Somebody said, I saw you tweet about Overwatch. Can you talk about why you like it so much? Yeah, I'd be happy to talk about Overwatch. The reason Overwatch is so good is because it doesn't have any fat in it. Every character has an appropriate amount of strengths and weaknesses. Every character, even the supports, even the ones where you're pretty much just healing your team or setting up turrets, can be superstars, right? They're built in such a way where you can have those incredible moments and feel like you're really securing the victory for your team. And I think that's important, right? Where there's not that one character in the game where I'm like, oh man, I feel like I'm not really doing anything, or somebody else is getting all the attention. Like, everybody is built in such a way that you get room to shine. I also think, and a lot of people disagree with me on this, that the map design is actually pretty excellent, right? Where they're built in such a way where no matter who you're playing with, no matter what you're doing, you'll have sort of these climactic fights because the choke points are so specific and so well laid out. But at the same time, the maps are built in such a way where if you're kind of a skirmisher like Tracer, where you can get away with not engaging in main battles and just kind of harassing people, there are routes for you to do that too, right? And it's so good. Nothing is thrown in for the sake of it. And even like the maps themselves tell these cool little stories that have these little details, right? So there's one map, I think it's Hanamura, where there's this ramen shop, and you can see this machine like spray painting Japanese text on the wall, like it's like an advertisement or something, right? And so you feel like you're in this city that's kind of alive and changing, and all of those little details enhance it. You're not just like at a factory, you're not just in a forest, like all of these places are part of this world and are connected somehow and show you a different side of Overwatch that I think is really, really cool. That being said, I'm bummed there's not a single player campaign. I think that's a mistake. They're doing comics and they're doing these cinematics and they're spending so much time on the story outside of the game that it really makes you wonder what could have been. Like, imagine if you played through this stirring campaign that really attached you to these characters and made them more meaningful to you in a way that just playing multiplayer won't. I think that's wrong. I think it worked really, really well for Warcraft 3, right? Because, like, when I was playing Warcraft 3, I wanted to be the humans because of or I wanted to be the undead because of Arthas, because I loved that character. And I think that has a power to it that shouldn't be underestimated.
Your death shall be the foundation of my
It's kind of saddening because StarCraft 2 had such awesome campaigns. Yeah! Not to, like, go off on this Blizzard rant, but every time I play StarCraft 2 and I play through those campaigns, I'm so bummed that those games aren't, like, I don't know. They're not the powerhouses they used to be. I think the campaigns in StarCraft 2, not from a storytelling perspective, but from a design perspective, are, like, some of the best things Blizzard has ever done. Like, every mission in Wings of Liberty, Heart of the Swarm, and Legacy of the Void feels epic and is different and constantly plays with the mechanics of the game to give you something more than just kill the enemy base or just survive. Like, there are these neat little touches in each map. Like, the design in the StarCraft 2 campaign is unbelievably good. Overwatch wouldn't work as a single-player game. Some heroes aren't good at fighting, but it would work as a co-op game. But I think you can design around that, right? Like, I can envision a Mercy mission where you have to heal people, but it's really exciting, right? Like you kind of have to run around all over the place and heal people as quickly as possible. I don't know. I think you could do it. I don't buy that argument. I got bored of Overwatch already. Yeah, and I think... So I've heard a lot of people say that they're bored of Overwatch. And I can see where they're coming from. Like, Overwatch is just kind of one thing, and it does it super, super well. I'm not bored of it yet, but I wonder... And again, this makes reviewing games very tricky. I wonder if 3 months from now, I'll feel like I've gotten everything I can out of Overwatch. And I think it's a valid concern with multiplayer-only games. I think it happened with Titanfall, right? I think people just kind of upgraded everything they could in Titanfall, and they were done relatively quickly. And there wasn't enough content quickly enough to kind of re-engage them. And so I think that falls on Blizzard, right? Where they're going to have to come out with characters really, really quick. They're going to have to come out with new maps really, really quick and on a regular basis. And Blizzard is pretty bad at doing that outside of Heroes of the Storm, right? And Heroes of the Storm was a game when I reviewed it. By the end of the review, I was getting kind of bored, but they kept coming out with new characters, and they kept coming out with like more creative battlegrounds. And now I'm kind of re-engaged with Heroes of the Storm because they've done a good job updating it. So we'll see. We'll see. I also think there are just people that don't love multiplayer shooters all that much, and there's nothing wrong with you. It's okay. It's just not your thing. And although he would never admit it, and I'm not trying to like throw him on the bus, I think Huber is kind of that way too. I think Huber lives to experience stories in games and get attached to worlds and dig into their lore. And I think that's totally cool. That's just a preference that he has. That's something that he values more than just pure mechanics. I don't think mechanics in a game ever really do it for Huber in the way that a good story does. And for me, they do. Like, I can enjoy a game... Oh, this golden spider. This golden spider is very important. I can enjoy a game just based on its mechanics. Like, that can be interesting enough for me. And I find the mechanics in Overwatch really, really fascinating. Yeah. People say, like, Overwatch is an evolved TF2, like it's a bad thing, but Team Fortress 2 is, like, an incredibly well-designed, well-balanced game, and if you're making a better version of that, I actually think that's, like, relatively untapped ground in gaming, and I think that's fascinating. Like, I think making a more complex TF2, one of the greatest multiplayer shooters ever, is, like, awesome, and I'm surprised somebody hadn't done it sooner. You can enjoy Metal Gear Solid 5 despite the Chapter 2. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I think it's fair at this point to say that I hate the story in Metal Gear Solid 5. I hate it. I think it's extremely poorly presented, it's unfinished, and it is just not up to the standard that the rest of the series sent. But playing that game is amazing. It is so good. That is the best stealth action game I have ever played, and may ever play in my life. And you can get so creative with how you approach situations, and like researching new weapons is exciting because it gives you like such a different way to approach things. Like the things that you can do with the decoys and the things that you can do with the water gun, they're insane. Like it's crazy that a developer thought of those avenues for you to explore. And the game is a 9.3 because of that, even though I think the story is trash. Like these sections are so simple. You're just, I know this is a tutorial, but it comes up all the time. You're usually just fighting these enemies in an enclosed area, and you kind of just mash it out. And it's not. These are the weakest sections of this game, but again, at least it feels a little bit powerful. It sort of has that Dynasty Warriors effect, where you're not doing all that much, but you at least look really cool doing it. And it's something I think the Assassin's Creed series has as well. I don't think flashiness ever replaces depth, but flashiness is also not nothing. You know, there's value to that too. Ben didn't watch the Persona 5 event because he's a casual. I fell asleep! So yes.
Don't think you'll come off unscathed. Pain reminds
These moments are weak, but they're nice to have. They just go on too long. Yeah, I totally agree. These are the only moments that I think are really... They really drag on. Press A to recover. Okay, hit me. Please hit me. Why isn't he hitting me? Okay, there we go. Holy shit, this is bad. Like, his arms were going through me and it didn't register as a hit. That's pretty awful.
I never said stop. That's it.
Whoop.
That's the spirit.
Scrub. There we go.
Not bad.
Hello, Zen Gamer Max. Good to have you, man.
I think you've got it.
Good to have you.
But even a monkey can do that.
I wake up 4 a.m. for streams. Ben can't do it for his most anticipated. Eboshar, you have to understand. Sometimes we want to do things and we fail at doing them. It's not that I couldn't do it. I just my body failed me at 5 a.m. Oh, I love the counters. Love the counters. Hit things with your fists. There aren't enough hand-to-hand third-person action games. Did you guys play Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks? Because that game is dope. That game is so good. I wish NetherRealm would make another brawler like that. I also really miss, like,
Don't get distracted by multiple
Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance and Champions of Norrath and I forget. Oh, Snowblind. Is that it? Snowblind, I think, makes those games.
That's it. Try focusing on another target. That's it. That's the spirit. Not bad.
Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance is like one of my favorite co-op experiences ever. I remember playing it with a friend just as we were getting into D&D, and it was like the perfect avenue for us to explore that space. So if you want to get into D&D but you're not sure how, go play those old PS2 games. They're really great for it. I get so mad when people write beat 'em ups off as just like, oh, haven't seen this before, but I don't know, sometimes I just need light calories, you know? It's why I enjoy the Dynasty Warriors series sometimes. Like, I don't need everything to be incredible storytelling, innovative experiences. Sometimes I think, like, empty calorie stuff is just okay. I would kill for more like D&D beat 'em ups. Chronicles of Mystaria is also really good. If you guys haven't played that, it's on Xbox Live Arcade. You guys still have a 360. Also, the Final Fights re-release on Xbox Live Arcade is really good. It comes with another game that I can't remember. What is that game? It's like a fantasy beat 'em up. It's so good. It's not D&D. It's something else. What are my thoughts on Sharp FE? It looks really good, and import impressions have been super positive. I think I'm so bummed because I think Tokyo Mirage Sessions is going to be one of those games where like this very small group of people praise it and think it's incredible, but it doesn't get enough support for you to see another one of those games again. And so if you have a Wii U and you're just in JRPGs and you've been sleeping on Tokyo Mirage Sessions, I encourage you to check it out. Game Explain has done some really great work covering that game. Way better than we have. And I encourage you to check their stuff out. It looks really, really good. I think it has a neat art style, and I think mechanically it's very interesting. And I can't wait to get my hands on it. Like, day one, we are going to review that game. There will be an Easy Allies review for Tokyo Mirage Sessions, for sure. Press LT automatically activate. Sorry. I'm like focusing on this fight. Not that it's particularly difficult, but it's during like boss moments like this, it's a little hard to chat. So almost got that gauge filled up. There we go. Now we gotta go unlimited. Asura's strength is increased and he cannot overheat. Inflicting damage upon enemies increases the burst gauge. Once it's full, burst can be activated by pressing RT. Oh! So now we have to fill up another gauge. This is kind of fun. I know it's probably not very exciting to watch. I'm just kind of mashing away at this dude. But I'm having a good time. Did I see the Persona 5 trailer? Oh, absolutely. I think I've watched it 10 times already. I'm not joking. I just would, like, watch it on loop. Excellent, excellent, excellent! We're getting into the QTE rhythm. I really like that guy's design. He looks just like such a badass. And he just hits you with his head. Knocks you into the ground. Censoring something like Tokyo Mirage Sessions really doesn't make any sense to me, because the only people that are going to buy that game are buying it for its Japaneseness, kind of. Like, they're not they're buying it for that, but they're fans of that stuff, and they're appreciative of that stuff. Like, when Yakuza 3 came out in North America, they took out, like, the Japanese quizzes and a lot of cultural stuff. And everybody was in an uproar because the audience was savvy enough to appreciate those things and obviously wanted them included in the game. And there are times in certain games where removing things probably makes sense, right? But in super niche cases like that, I don't understand. That's what they're there for. Why take it away from them? It doesn't make any sense. And it was cool in later Yakuza games, they did that way less, right? And obviously everyone was way more happy. So, yeah, I don't care. I'm sad now. Yeah, I don't know if any of you knew that about the Yakuza 3 stuff, but there are a lot of things not in that game that were in the Japanese version. Doesn't make it any less incredible, really. I played through the English version of Yakuza 3 and loved it dearly. And they're just shooting themselves in the foot. You know, it's so crazy, not to like go on Nintendo, but I know many of you want that anyway. Like, think about, before this E3 stuff came to light, think about how, like, excited everyone was about the NX. It was all anybody was talking about. Every time there was a rumor, the entire internet freaked out. And then they go and they're just like, yeah, we're going to de-hype you completely. We're not going to play into this momentum that's been building up. It's been, like, building up from the ground up. Like, we didn't have anything to do with it, really. And they just, why neuter themselves so hard? Like, by the time that NX announcement happens, I can't speak for you guys, but I'm not going to be as excited. Like, they had their moment and they wasted it. And it's just absurd. I don't understand. Like, I'm sure Zelda's going to be great, but they shot themselves in the foot. Also, yeah, what are we going to play on the Wii U in the second half of 2016? Paper Mario? That's not enough. Will Frame Trap be a weekly podcast? It will be a weekly podcast if we get an office. Because I live so far away from everybody else, and because it takes so long to set up, and just like production issues in general, more that I won't go into, we just can't. We just can't do it as a weekly podcast right now. It's not feasible. But I would love it to be. It's my favorite thing. Well, I don't know. I like tabletop escapades a lot, but it's one of my favorite things that I do for the Allies. And you guys seem to really like it. So I would love for it to be a weekly podcast. Zelda is coming out for Wii U and NX simultaneously. Also, yeah, I totally agree with you, Ants Man. It's a bummer that they're not doing more with the 3DS. Like, Fire Emblem was awesome, Bravely Second was awesome, and then just now we have nothing. I guess there's Shin Megami Tensei Final. Or, I'm sorry, Apocalypse, excuse me.
Are you satisfied with being a cog in his machine?
When are we getting a Dark Souls 3 spoiler cast? The talk right now is that we're going to shoot that on Tuesday. So, it's coming soon. I know you guys have been waiting a long time for our Dark Souls 3 discussion, but it is coming. I appreciate your patience. Pokemon is coming this year. Thank you. I always forget about Pokemon. Guys, I'm so fucking pumped for Pokemon. I know it's like Kyle's thing, and I totally appreciate that because he knows way more about Pokemon than I do, but just the vibe of Pokemon is what I want right now. I just want to stroll around as a kid, catching weird monsters in a new land. Like, I know we've done that 1,000 times before, but there's something that's just speaking to me right now. It just sounds so relaxing. Maybe it's just because I just played through Dark Souls 3 and I've been like grinding Hearthstone really hard, but chilling out with Pokemon sounds like a dream right now. Pure jolliness, exactly. I couldn't say it any better. Team Moon? Yeah, absolutely Team Moon. Night is better than day. Team Moon. Absolutely. Although on Team Sun, you can praise the sun, which I don't think is nothing. I think that's very valuable. So I've never played Omega Ruby or Sapphire. Are they good? Are they worth playing through? Ben, why are you not playing Plants vs. Zombies? It's amazing. You mean Garden Warfare or just Plants vs. Zombies? Both are quite excellent.
Your world.
Dragon Quest, Ben. Oh, yeah!
1,000 years have passed since you were
Oh, my God.
But that's nothing to a
Loco Luca.
yourself now.
Thank you. You just made my night. I forgot that Dragon Quest 7 and 8 were coming out on 3DS. Oh, my God. That's going to be so fucking exciting. We're going to get to cover Dragon Quest 7 and 8. We're going to get to do videos about Dragon Quest 7 or 8 this summer. That's awesome. Oh my god, I'm so pumped. Holy shit, you guys. Oh yeah! And Rhythm Heaven. Thank you guys. I feel like I'm throwing the 3DS under the bus, but there actually is stuff to really look forward to. You are completely right. Rhythm Heaven. Yeah. Rhythm Heaven is like... It's a lot like WarioWare for me. I hold WarioWare in super high regard. I think those games are amazing. They're honestly Nintendo at their best. And Rhythm Heaven is right along with that. I think those series, like, more people should play those games. I understand. I think people are like, oh, it's just a minigame collection, or oh, it's just a rhythm game. And it's so much more. The creativity and style of those games is just fucking unreal.
Asura awakens on Gaea. 12,000 years have passed. The world he knew was no more, yet nothing had changed. The struggle between the humans and the Goma continued to rage. As Asura witnesses the Goma attack a village, a familiar
I'm gonna grab a drink real
appears.
quick while this cutscene's playing. Give me 1 second. We have Monster Hunter... I have to address this. We have Monster Hunter Generations as well. Thank you. Oh my god. Like, the 3DS is killing it this year. Ben just realized his wallet is going to be even lighter. Yeah, man. This year is brutal. I know we said it about 2015, but I think 2016 is going to be one of those years that we look back on and we're never going to forget it. Like, this is so cool, by the way. I love the tone that this is setting up. Monster Hunter alone is reason enough to have a 3DS. I'm so glad that you guys understand the joys of Monster Hunter, because so many people don't. Something I'd really like to do, if you guys are interested, I'd love to... I've never been able to play a Monster Hunter all the way through with a group of friends. And I'd love to do that with you guys. I'd love to get a group of people together and just dig into Monster Hunter and videotape it and kind of show the world what makes that so special and fun and kind of get all the way to the end game with the same group of people and make it a video series. And we may not be able to do that. I'm not promising anything, but when Generations comes out, I'd really like to try. So if you are interested in Monster Hunter and want to put your name into the ring for that, please. Then are you playing Final Fantasy 15 or Persona 5 first? It depends if it import Persona or not. I'm really torn on importing it. I want to get my hand on it as soon as possible, but I also don't want to ruin the experience for myself. At the same time, if you guys want me to cover it, there's value to that too. Like, I'd be doing it for work-related reasons. So I actually don't know the answer to that question. I don't know if I'm going to play 15 or Persona 5 first. Ben, you said you were going to play Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate with me and it never happened. Going all the way through Generations would take 90 plus hours. I will still play Monster Hunter with you if you want to play Ultimate. I just need your friend code. Like, that's the tough thing about this is it's kind of a pain in the ass to add people on your system. So if you want to play some Monster Hunter this weekend, I'm down. We just need to exchange information. I'm sorry I did not keep up my end of the bargain. Cool enemy. Yeah, thank you. Oh, I love that attack. Just flailing about, man. I'll play Monster Hunter. Friend codes are the worst, man. Jesus, man. I don't... Yeah. Did you guys play Kirby Triple Deluxe? I actually thought that was a delightful game. That was really, really, really well done. I will always look back at Kirby. Like, it didn't change my life. I don't think it's an incredible game. I don't think it's a 9+ game or anything like that. But I think it really got to the core of Kirby and why Kirby is special. I had a blast playing through that game.
Back from the dead, impure demigod Asura. We shall
Kirby Triple Deluxe made me smile so much. It was great, yeah. The boss fights, the power-ups, all of it. I'm really excited. I don't remember the name of the new Kirby. I keep thinking like the title is Mech Kirby, but it's not. When is that coming out? Oh my god, thank you guys for reminding me that the 3DS is actually fantastic this year. And everything that is coming out for the 3DS I want to play. The Jockey Solitaire game from Game Freak also came out. I think it came out like today or this week or something. I need to check that out as well. It looks really, really cute. Planet Robobot. That is... It would be something like that. Punch this guy in the face! SMT4 Apocalypse? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's tough because... like, so many people see me as the Persona guy, and I am the Persona guy. And I get a lot of people that are like, hey, I never would have checked out Persona, but your enthusiasm got me into it. And I love it. And that's so cool, but I wish I could just do the same for regular Shin Megami Tensei, because I think those games in a lot of ways are just as good. They're very different. They're very, very different from Persona, but like Shin Megami Tensei 4, Nocturne, Devil Survivor, Digital Devil Saga, Devil Summoner, all of these games. What's the Cyberpunk one? Why can't I think of its name on 3DS? Holy shit. All of these games are fantastic. And I hope that when Apocalypse comes out, I can kind of make a case for that. And they're much harder to get into. They're way more hardcore than Persona, which I think is part of the problem. But I definitely want to show you guys why they're some of the most exciting JRPGs that exist. Soul Hackers, thank you. Jesus Christ, dude. And I played all the way through Soul Hackers. I beat Soul Hackers in like a week, and I can't remember its name. That was fun. Night Bakerman 84, thanks for joining us. I've never played a Persona game. You can fix that right now, man. Persona 4. People always ask me if Persona 4 is a good place to start. It is the best place to start. The stories are not connected. It doesn't matter that you're playing the 4th in the series. Start with 4, if you can. Burst time! I saw this comment very briefly. If I'm getting it wrong, let me know. But you said the Megami Tensei game that everyone always ignores is Megami Tensei 2. It's because it didn't come out in English. That's why people ignore it. Or don't know about it, rather. Persona 4 has an easy mode too, no stress jumping in. Yeah, like, some people will think this is blasphemy, but I really don't think the fights in Persona 3 or 4 are all that outstanding or memorable. Like, that's not why you're playing that game. You're playing the game for the characters in the story, first and foremost. So if you want to just play on easy mode, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't think it's especially hard on normal, or even hard either, but yeah, easy's fine. I started with Persona 1, but I got stuck in a boring dungeon, skipped to 3 portable. Persona 1 is a rough game. I enjoy it. I think it's cool, but it does not hold up exceptionally well. And I always cringe a little bit when people are like, I started with Persona 1, and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. It's probably not why you're not playing Persona right now. Yeah, don't start with 1. If you want to start with an earlier one, Persona 2 I actually do think holds up really, really well, and is a lot more refined over 1. 2 is super underappreciated. It has a great story, great cast of characters. It's much darker in a lot of ways than 3 and 4. So. You said that I'm willing to give Persona a chance again. Easy mode, here I come. Yeah, that's the way to do it. I noticed a lot of people tend to quit at the Yukiko fight. And that's too bad. Oh yeah, things are getting really good now with Asura's Wrath. We're getting into the fun stuff. Persona 2 is the Majora's Mask of the series. That's a pretty good comparison. I think I largely agree with that. Because they're both awesome, and people hate on them for no reason.
Do not tell me you have forgotten everything.
I'm glad you guys are pumped for this boss fight. It's a good one.
How could you forget
The Great Wyson. Hello, Residents of Evil 95. It's a cool name. The only Persona I've played is Persona 4 Arena. It's a good one. Arena is no slouch.
the 8 guardian generals who knew only war?
3 is pretty dark. They have to point guns at their heads to summon their personas. Yeah, but in Persona 2, you like fight Hitler. It's outstanding, really. Does Ben Chat hate Marie in Persona 4 Golden? No, I don't. I know there's a lot of people that hate Marie in Persona 4. I never understood it. I thought she was a wonderful character. I loved her little gimmick with the poems and her sort of bashfulness. I thought it was really well presented. I honestly don't know why people hate Marie. Maybe they just find her annoying or whatever, but that was not me. I really like her. Get that burst meter up. Deserve that. Getting too greedy. Throw these rockets back at your face. Go, 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 go. Oh, I was too late. I should have dashed. I should have dashed there. That was a mistake. Yes! Oh, this is so much fun. I love how we're talking about whether or not Hitler's anime. The real Asura's Wrath starts here, by the way. Okay, I think I get why people like Overwatch so much. I think the beta is pretty good. I picked through characters and they're all great. Yeah, if you guys are still on the fence about Overwatch, Play that beta. I think it's very convincing. If you don't like it after that beta, you're not going to like it in general. But I've seen so many people be like, oh wow, I actually gave this a chance and it is really good. The praise it was getting was not undeserved. So yeah, it's like open beta on PC, Xbox One, and PS4 right now. Like, it's free. Why not check it out? I sound like a goddamn PR person. I'm sorry. Oh, man. You know, Luvine, I've said this for the longest time, but the #1 sequel that I want, more than anything, is Catherine 2. Catherine 1 has such cool ideas, such a distinct style, that, like, it deserves another shot. I can't imagine what they would do with the second one, and I want to see it so desperately. That and Deadly Premonition 2 are the two things I want. Radiant Historia on DS. Man, you guys are so cool. Playing all these weird games. Love it. Metal Wolf Chaos 2. This guy gets it. Oh, Metal Wolf Chaos. Why did that game not come over here? What a mistake. What a tragedy. Everyone thinks Dark Souls is cool. Man, From Software made Metal Wolf Chaos. That game is fucking unbelievable.
Now one of the self-proclaimed 7 deities. Wyzen is intent on sending Asura back to Naraka. His power is more terrible and fearsome than when he served as one of the 8 Guardian Generals. His power threatens to crush Asura.
Celestial Aeon, I actually totally agree with you. Overwatch is such a team-centric game, and is so focused on group objectives, much like Heroes of the Storm, that if you're playing by yourself and going into random lobbies, you're going to get frustrated and you're going to want to quit, because people aren't just going to do what they should be doing. I can't tell you how many Overwatch games I've played where there are 2 Widowmakers, 2 snipers, that you're attacking, and they are just hanging out back at spawn trying to get kills. And they're just missing the point of the game. Like, they want to be playing Call of Duty, and they're not realizing that this is a totally different game, and they just refuse to adapt their style. And you can even talk to them. You can say, hey, like, come help me. And they just won't do it. If you're a Widowmaker, and you're just trying to get a high KD ratio, like, you suck. You suck. I'm sorry. I actually think 23 Skiddo. I think Mei should be nerfed like just a little bit. I think Mei is a little bit too strong, and she's probably the only character I would say that about. How great is this, by the way? Look at this towering boss. Oh, there are some things that happen during this fight. You guys are going to want to pay attention to this, I promise. Oh, God. I got hit by a lot of things there that I shouldn't have. You and your giant stupid stone face. just sits on you. Devil May Cry is the best DMC game. I totally respect that opinion and can see where you're coming from. To me, Devil May Cry 3 is the best Devil May Cry game that will probably ever be. I think Devil May Cry 3 is like one notch below Bayonetta in terms of action game perfection. Burst. You know, I respect that answer too. I think Devil May Cry 4 is also an excellent game. I do not like playing through the same sections as different characters. I think it was poorly done. But the combat in Devil May Cry 4 is sublime. Absolutely. And that's probably the most important thing. So yeah, Devil May Cry 4 is an excellent game. We should, I should stream the DMC4 Special Edition again. I feel like I didn't give that game its like proper justice. Sorry, somebody's coming in, so you may hear some noise. This music. Just gotta get that burst gauge up. There we go. Devil May Cry 3 felt like sorry for DMC2. We'll make a game similar to Devil May Cry 1. Yeah, but I think Devil May Cry 3 is very, very different than Devil May Cry 1. I think Devil May Cry 1 is a very somber, kind of gothic game, whereas, like, to me, Devil May Cry 3 is kind of like playing through a heavy metal album, right? It's very loud and abrasive and, like, bombastic in a way that Devil May Cry 1 was, but not to the same, like, exaggerated extent. So, like, I don't know, Huber and Brad really hate the Dante in DMC3, but I love him. I love his cocky, cheesy, kind of dorky attitude. I love all of the characters in DMC3. Lady, Virgil, they're all fantastic. DMC1 is kind of fill my dark heart with light. Yeah, exactly. It's just a different tone. DMC2 is shit. We will not. I cannot condone DMC2 in any way. It's funny because I think Kamiya recently came out and said, like, the director of DMC2 did everything he could and probably did as good of a job as I would have with the resources and time given. I mean, that's probably not true. Kamiya is a god, but it was interesting to hear them say that. This is so rad. Yeah, it is. It's so rad. And it's just gonna get radder. This is like, in a way, a sequel to Dragon Ball Z that I never knew I wanted. I know that's a silly thing to say. I keep missing the Y. Oops. Our rating is gonna be low for this chapter. Look at this! Look at this! He's just inside of him! Yeah, we're really messing up the QTs. Oh my god, you guys. This is where it gets like 500% anime in the most glorious way. Mantra reactor release. I want that to be my catchphrase. I was actually thinking about doing Vanquish for my next stream, but I can't find my copy of it, which is really upsetting. Vanquish is so fucking rad. Look at this. This guy is dwarfing the planet right now.
I'm an absolute being that
Mantra, boys.
and its mortals.
This looks so good. This 360 game from years ago. This scene is incredible. Vanquish is legit the best third-person shooter ever made. You might be right. I haven't really thought about it, I guess, but you might be right. It's so good. Super underappreciated. I would say this is like essentially the first boss, yeah. And one of the best ones, honestly. This is one of the best fights in the game.
Asura the traitor.
The Finger of Death.
Destructor. You do not belong in this world.
It does look better than Star Fox Zero. You're right about that. Oh my god, you guys. Look at this. His finger is like as big as a continent. How about Binary Domain? Yeah, that's another stream I like to do. We could do a full playthrough of Binary Domain, probably. And Vanquish, for that matter. Binary Domain is amazing. I think I have it on Steam, so we could use the new PC. That's exciting. Yes. The way you use each stick to plant your foot in the ground is a genius touch. Any love for Suda 51 games? Absolutely. I don't think Suda's recent output has been all that outstanding. But I love Suda. I love Michigan Report from Hell. I love Killer 7 is my absolute favorite one. I love No More Heroes 1 and 2. Wait, did he do Michigan? I think he did Michigan. What else did he do that I really like? I really like Shadows of the Damned a lot. Love Shadows of the Damned. I would love to stream that with Huber sometime because he is also an appreciator of that game. This is the first boss. How can they top this? You have no idea. The ending of this game is absurd. Like, the true ending, the DLC ending that you have to pay for, is absurd. What? He's punching my finger. He punches the giant molten finger so hard that his limbs shatter. But he doesn't give up. We full fist the North Star now. Yeah, absolutely. Good call out. Oh, I need to watch JoJo. My shame. Kyle's been watching it. He loves it. He rants and raves about it, so I gotta watch JoJo. This death though. I hope I convinced at least one person to like go on Amazon and buy a copy of this for like $10. If I just convince one person with this stream, it would be worth it. Hi, Honeybee Pride. It's good to see you too. So happy you're here, joining us with this lovely, lovely Asura's Wrath stream.
Why are you here, Asura? Do you even know what you want? You have already failed once at living. You are a fool. Next time, do not come back.
I've seen One Punch Man. I've seen all of One Punch Man. It's awesome. Where is season 2? Ben, would you consider adding a dedicated occasional anime segment to Frame Trap? I feel like this is the perfect kind of show for you to talk about and spread the love of Japanese media in the EZA community. Plus, I would really love to hear what anime you and the rest of the allies are digging. I'm currently in love with Kabaneri of the Iron Fortress. It would be awesome to hear your thoughts about it. So nothing is off limits in terms of discussion for Frame Trap. But, you know, I try to pick topics that the panel is going to be able to participate in. Like, and the only person I can do that with is probably Brad, but more so specifically Kyle. I feel like Kyle is actually, like, the only one of us that, like, really stays up to date on anime and gives a bunch of different shows a shot. And so it would be fun to talk about it with him, but then the other two guests are just kind of sitting there and they don't have anything to do. And we do need a forum to talk about anime. We've needed it for a while because it's clear, like, you guys are super into it and super knowledgeable about it and want to talk to us. But I worry that it wouldn't be good for Frame Trap. Like, I want at least two of the three guests to, like, be pretty intimately familiar with the topic that we're talking about. Anime was a mistake.
You are a fool.
Do you have a My Anime List account? You pretty much make a list of anime. No, I don't. I'll check it out, though, after the stream.
Not come back.
Remind me. Please remind me, like, at the very end when we're all done. Stick to games, Ben. There's plenty to talk about already. Yeah, that's the other thing, and I want to, like, talk to you guys about this. You know, I enjoyed talking with Brandon and Huber and Brad about Game of Thrones. And I enjoy talking about movies, like Batman vs. Superman and all that stuff.
Asura,
But
why have you come back?
it's difficult because the majority of you look to us for opinions about video games, right? Like, you might enjoy hearing about the other stuff, but you're here for games, and I totally understand that. Like, there are episodes of the Giant Bombcast that I really detest because it feels like they talk about games for like 15% of the time. And not that they're not hilarious and entertaining, they are. But, like, I don't know. I think games should always be our focus. 100% of the time.
Leave it at that.
There is no longer a place for you in this world.
I have no arms, and this guy is making me look like a fool. Also, yeah, somebody commented on the music. This track is outstanding. I don't know who the composer is for this game. I should look that up. But they really do incredible work. I'm just feebly kicking him. Oh man, it is not letting me dodge. Or I'm not letting myself dodge, I guess I should say. Nope, I'm right into him. I was hoping that was a fight you were supposed to lose. It's not. You just have to get good. I can't. Okay. I was hitting the wrong button. I guess in this fight you use right bumper to dodge instead of left bumper. That was throwing me off. Alright, let's do this again. Somebody said, can we get timestamps for Frame Trap? Yeah, actually in the most recent episode on YouTube, there are timestamps for Frame Trap. And I needed to put those in the podcast description, and I didn't. I will do that for this most recent episode. But on YouTube, there are already timestamps for the second episode of Frame Trap. Alright, now that we know the correct button to dodge, this is going to be a lot easier.
Place for you in this world.
Do you realize
Wisen wasted hundreds of millions of souls just to fight you? No, I suppose not. You are not familiar with our way of life.
You're welcome, Silent Consonant. Thank you for joining me. Sorry, this is it's kind of an intense fight, and that's why I'm not talking as much. But please continue to ask questions. I'll try to, if I catch them, I will definitely try to answer them the best I can. We're doing a lot better now, now that we know how to dodge. We can just kind of do this. Damn it. No arms, no problem. Yeah, exactly. It's kind of a cool fight because it gives you a little bit of a different moveset, and you have to time your reactions a little bit differently than you do when you have all of your arms. There we go. Oh, I still need to play Severed. Have any of you guys played Severed on Vita? Is it rad? I need to buy that ASAP. Drinkbox is an incredible studio. I've loved everything they've made. Asura right now is Law and TT and Tabletop Escapades 3 episodes from now. Yeah, pretty much. Playing Severed right now, it's a very cool and beautiful game. Awesome. Awesome, I love it. It looks fantastic. And it's great because it's one of those games where I know very little about, so I can just kind of go in and let it overwhelm me. We're doing this again? I just fought you, bro. I just fought you. Punished. Punished. Oh. Severed is 10 out of 10 according to Colin Moriarty. That's high praise. I wonder if I should, like, use my ranged ability to do some extra damage so this goes a little faster. I don't have any ranged abilities because I don't have any arms! That's right. Punished. Didn't quick recover either. It's that. It's always when he crouches down. If he's not, like, his hand on the ground, I shouldn't go in and hit him. There we go. That should be it. No, so close. Sweet.
You are only doing harm to yourself.
Where are his arms? Oh, Spud, I'm so sad for you. You missed a really, really good fight. Basically, this giant creature was smashing his finger into Asura, and it broke all of his
The
arms.
salvation of our world.
But Asura persevered.
Be proud.
What did you say? Be proud of Mithra's suffering.
Yes, and I will say it again. Your daughter is devoted to the cause in order to save.
Making me fight this guy again would be unwise. He's not. Okay. That is showing you that the gauge is rising. I think Asura is like a better Kratos, honestly. Just more interesting than Kratos. Lightning reflexes. Look at that achievement. Reviewing Call of Duty Ghost was a super satisfying thing to do at game trailers because I love Call of Duty, but that game is unremarkable. I'm so happy I got to say the things about it that I did. We finally got away from giving Call of Duty a 9 every single time. Less arms, more interesting, math works out. It's pretty funny.
You are as ugly as ever.
What if God of War 4 is Asura's Wrath 2? I can't even process that. But if all of this Nordic stuff about God of War 4 is true, that sounds super exciting. Like, what a great setting for a God of War game. Being a Viking, having that sort of style, I think that could be incredible. E3 is going to be fucking awesome.
Do not return again.
They're doing the credits again. I love it when video games do this, when they immediately establish somebody that is just dominant over you, and then they kind of make that a thread throughout the entire game, right? I think Metal Gear Solid does a good job of this with Liquid Snake. I think Final Fantasy IV does a good job with Kain. Just sort of this rival figure that every time you encounter them, you're like, oh shit, I'm fighting them again. You could even say like Pokemon and Gary do an excellent job of this. I love that theme. I want a new MC for God of War. I totally agree. Liam O'Brien does such a great job voicing Asura. Excellent stuff, dude. Viking Games make this Swede who's still up at 6:39 a.m. very excited. Well, thank you for being up so early, and it makes me excited too. The boss did it perfectly in Metal Gear Solid 3, Ben. Absolutely. But I mean, the boss... the boss isn't just a good rival character. The boss is one of the most, like, emotionally complex villains in video games. Like, I wish more video game villains had the depth of the boss. That final fight with the boss in Metal Gear Solid 3 is unbelievable. Like, if you haven't experienced the final fight with the boss in Metal Gear Solid 3, that's something you should experience right now. Like, if you care about video games, you have to experience that moment. It will sweep you off your feet. We finished part 1. Look at that. Oh, we did bad. We did bad. C is not good. Oh no. Yeah, it's just part 1. Just part 1. There's more to go.
In one slash, Yasha mercilessly splits Asura in two. Asura finds himself back in Naraka, burning with more rage than ever. But for now, his only option is to follow the light.
Just wants to avenge his family. C equals G. That's right, that's why we did it. I liked the end boss in Metal Gear Solid 3. Yeah, it's incredible. What a creative fight. But you guys just also got me inadvertently depressed, and it's not your fault, but the fact that we live in a post-Kojima Metal Gear Solid world is a bit rough, especially since Metal Gear Solid, like, is the sole reason I'm doing any of this in the first place. Is Asura's Wrath secretly Frog Fractions 2? It's a good joke. It might be. Asura's Wrath might be Frog Fractions 2. It's a very likely candidate. Have you seen the Metal Gear Solid 4 commercials? Yeah, they're terrible. I mean, it's cool that David Hayter is voicing Snake, but like, is that the world of Metal Gear that we now live in, where our nostalgia for that series is mined for fucking petty advertisements for major car dealerships? That sucks. At least Kojima can finally move on. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's true. I'm happy for Kojima. Kojima is free and Del Toro keeps hinting at shit. It's a good time. Yeah, it is. It is a good time. It is a good time. Like, this is probably like a net positive outcome. I just wish Konami wasn't such shit. That's all I'm saying. Like, I'm happy for Kojima. I really am. I think it's incredibly exciting. Ben, so how do you like the slow trickle of character releases in Persona 5? Do you think the new characters in the most recent trailers are the last ones? I think we've seen the core crew. I'd be surprised if there was more to show with sort of like the main cast of characters. And just sort of talking about like how Persona 5 has been doing things. What I love about the Persona 5 marketing is I feel like they've shown a substantial amount. I feel like we get a vibe from that game. But when I play it, I'm not going to know what to expect, right? Like, I don't really know what's happening with the story. They haven't spelled it out for me. I don't really know the motivations behind these characters. Like, there's a lot of intrigue. Like, even if you've consumed every bit of Persona 5 information that you could, you don't feel like they're spoiling the game for you. I think they've been doing it with a certain level of tact and class that is excellent, and more video game companies, and movie companies for that matter, should follow that lead. All the main characters are on the cover. Yes, that's also true. But you know, you never know. There could be like some crazy surprise or something. So is the emotion of Persona 5 anger? Like, they mentioned that the emotion of Persona 4 is fear and Persona 3 is sadness. I feel like our MC is kind of nuts in Persona 5. He does seem kind of nuts, right? And you never got that vibe from, I say vibe a lot. Kyle made me do this. You never got that vibe from the main characters of Persona 3 or Persona 4. They seem very, like, stable individuals. And I love that. I like the idea of playing someone that's totally unhinged. Dodge there, didn't he? I'm fighting a giant glowing-eyed elephant. Nope. Punch you in the face. Nope. This boss fight's going well. We got our rhythm down. say that, and then we do something dumb. Yes! Yes! It's gonna be a lot of gauge. We're almost there. Boom! I miss Silent Hill. Well said, Rickambo. I too miss Silent Hill. And Shattered Memories was such a neat game. I would love for that studio to make another one. A Silent Hill playthrough would be a lot of fun. Yeah, it would be. And you know, I honestly think like Huber likes Silent Hill. He's into Silent Hill, but you know he's really a Resident Evil guy through and through. But Ian adores Silent Hill in much the same ways that I do. And I think playing like Silent Hill 3 or 4 with him, or not 3 or 4, 2 or 3 with him would be wonderful. I think you guys would really enjoy it. I think it would just be a ton of fun. Like, our admiration for that series is through the roof. Ben, did you play Silent Hills PT before it was taken down? Yeah, I did, multiple times. I still have it on my hard drive, in fact. I can bust it out at any moment. I will never, ever, ever remove it. Go, go, go. Oh! You can play it a different way. That poor beast, you just keep punching it in the trunk. Yeah, it is kind of sad. And I like elephants too. It's kind of a sad fight. It's hard to see where his trunk is gonna go. That's kind of annoying, actually. Now he's mad. Now he's mad. Yes, yes, yes. Wait, no. There we go. It is evil. Suppose it is an evil elephant, that is true. But you know, like I could, it's hard killing like evil cats, right? Because cats are still amazing. Uh-oh. Oh! Definitely hit the wrong button there, but it gave it to me anyway, which I appreciate. Go, go, go. Come on, burst gauge. Come on, burst gauge. You didn't even you didn't even swing your trunk close to me there. What the? There we go. burst. Sorry, I was reading chat. Would you... Something about Halo 5, playing Halo 5. I will get to that in just one second. I just don't want to mess up the QTs too badly. Is Bosman v. Wozniak still happening? Yes. As far as I know, he hasn't posted anything that I'm aware of that says otherwise. So you guys can look forward to that tonight. Oh, this game is so cool. Ben, would you be down for some Halo 5 Warzone firefight with allies in chat when it's released? Huber's on board. Oh, absolutely, man. That sounds awesome. I love Halo firefight. So yeah, it'd be really, really rad to play with you guys. When is that coming out?
Control yourself.
This game is so over the top, it's incredible. Well said.
Well done, Asura.
Still feeling bad for the elephant. Yeah.
Now that you have something to protect.
When did Kyle move Tetris? He's going to be out of town tomorrow, so that's why he moves it up a day. I don't remember where he's going. He was supposed to be on Frame Trap tomorrow, too. And unfortunately, he can't. But that's okay.
The only reason one needs to fight is the fight itself.
I want to be this big dude when I grow up. I do, too. I want to be the big dude, too.
We have cleared this area of Goma. Let us return to Shinkoku.
Right.
Guys, I'm so happy that, like, we get this new PC. The stream is running perfectly. You guys aren't complaining about audio issues. Everything's smooth. It just makes my life so much less stressful. So, I'm just in a good spot right now. You're already a big dude. I'm tall, but I'm not, like, built, you know? I want to be, like, Asura built. Like, look at that.
Your father has
It's like he's
returned.
chiseled out of stone. Kristen says I want to be the elephant. Absolutely, man. I get that, too. That elephant looked pretty sick.
So, that is what he must protect?
Yes, though you may not understand why.
You have a big heart and a big aura. Oh, that's so nice. Chat is always so nice. Thank you all for being wonderful. Makes me want to stream all the time. And I think I'm going to do like little streams here and there more, kind of like what Brad is doing, where he'll just like, you know, he'll stream in the middle of the night, Overwatch and all that stuff. I think I'm going to try to do a little bit more of that. And I'm going to try to get more allies on board too. So, more stuff, more things for you to watch, if you so choose.
Then he should pacify her.
Him?
Remember how shocked everyone was when they found out Ben was taller than Huber? Yeah, that was like a thing. Everybody thinks I'm short. I guess I just have that kind of persona. And they're like, oh my god, you're so tall. I guess I don't project myself as being a tall person. Battleborn with you? I don't own Battleborn. Otherwise I totally would. Please don't stream at 4 a.m. like Brad is. Why does Brad stream at 4 a.m.? I won't stream at 4 a.m. I might stream at like midnight, but I'm not going to stream at 4. That's too late even for me. You have a short guy face. I can see that. My head is so weird. Like I have a normally like large head, but like a really small face and like a super small mouth.
See what I mean?
It's a weird dude. How tall am I? I'm about 6 feet, roughly. I may be like 5'11" or like 6'1" or something. I don't actually know, but it's like around 6 feet.
Should we work together?
Brad's cool kid streams for vampires. It's really funny to me.
You are aware Mether is the only suitable vessel.
Midnight for you is 3 a.m. for us. Yeah, I know the time zone thing gets funky, and I'm really sorry about that. So I don't know. Maybe I'll just stream like in the middle of the afternoon or something. I'll do what I can. Brad is EU friendly. So maybe later is better. I don't know. You guys are confusing me. I'm pretty sure Brad is 8 inches taller than me. That's a good thing, though, right? Like, tall guys are good, right? Normal people like that.
What was that?
How tall is Blood is the real question. Blood is taller than me. He's got to be like 6'3" or 6'4" or something. Yeah. Blood is a giant, man. Stream on my command.
Crying? What do you mean? I'm not crying.
Yeah, Bloodworth is a champion. He like archives these streams like immediately. So yeah, if you feel miffed that you missed a stream and I do something substantial or worth note, Bloodworth will be on it. Or I'll do it if he doesn't do it. But he does an excellent job, so I have no concerns. Brad might stream tomorrow either noon or midnight. That's a big difference in time.
I believe that you only wish the best for our daughter.
Who is the shortest ally? That's a good question. We're all pretty tall. Ian might be the shortest, maybe? But he's not like short or anything. He's an average height dude. Jones is very, very tall. Yeah, it might be Ian. Might be Ian. Sophie is the shortest. Oh man, I wish Sophie was here right now. You should have called yourself the Easy Giants. Yep. Just 4 white giants trying to figure it all out. It's always so fascinating to me that, and like, it doesn't bother me, I don't care, but like, you guys are really intensely interested on the height thing. Like, it really sparks conversation. That's just funny to me. I have not played Knights of Azure yet. It is on my very, very long list. How come Sophie never streams? I don't know, man. She's probably better at video games than any of us. I'm just imagining Blood dunking on everyone on Easy A right now. Yeah, Blood would dunk on us, and it would be like the smuggest face as he did so. He would like dunk, and in midair he'd like look at us, taunting us. Fucking smug Blood. That's gonna do it for me though, folks. What a blast this was. I'm not entirely convinced Asura's Wrath is the most suitable stream game, but I had a good time, and it seems like you guys had a good time. Thank you for hanging out. This was a blast. I'm still terrible at closing things, but we are shooting Frame Trap tomorrow. If you have any last-minute questions, get them in now. The email address is askeasyallies@gmail.com. And I'm looking forward to it. I'll be here next week. Just to give you guys a preview, I think I'm going to be streaming Valkyria Chronicles HD next week. That's when the streaming embargo lifts, next Wednesday, and I'm really looking forward to that. So please join me at my normal 8 to 10 time on Wednesday for some Valkyria Chronicles. You were all wonderful. Thank you for being amazing. Godfrey says bye. And I'll see you guys next week. Frame Trap will be on Monday, by the way. You can find more Easy Allies stuff, thank you for calling that out, at youtube.com/easyallies or at patreon.com. Just Google Easy Allies Patreon. But thank you, everybody. You made this a lot of fun. I'm glad we didn't have any tech issues for the first time ever. See you all later.